Fit like Abdi, Dannyman here, and welcome back to the finale of Surviving Mars. Yes, it's the last episode. I've had a lot of fun playing this again. It did come out many moons ago, but obviously with the recent update, the Below and Beyond, I thought it'd be nice to hit it up again because I didn't actually finish the first series, but we've finished this one. We have completely terraformed Mars, done all the milestones, we've completely terraformed it, we've got 100% vegetation. Now this took me hours to get because seed vegetation missions were few and far between. There are still a few areas where I thought more vegetation would grow. I did leave it for about an hour after reaching 100% vegetation in the hope that more trees and stuff would grow, but that didn't seem to happen. It seems like this area up here was magical for trees, and so was this area. The rest is just sort of bushes. Some of them do have sort of lower soil qualities down at about 60%, but most of it is up 90-100%, so I'm not sure why we didn't get the growth, or maybe it just only grows in certain places. I didn't expect anything to grow in here. The ground turned green, which was nice. I didn't expect to get trees or anything because there's a lot of buildings. I'm surprised this area never took hold, as this area was really good. But we'll have a look round the map. As you can see, we've got a few homeless, but they're just children. I just literally switched on the domes for births because I was getting a few job shortages, but we can switch that off now because they're pretty much almost finished. No, don't do that. Do that. Yeah, births are forbidden in all domes. Now they'll grow up and they'll go and fill in these 151 jobs. We've still got 56 jobless wonders, but they will move around and get jobs. But it's the end, so I'm not really too bothered about that. We'll start down here. So we've got a couple of bushes and stuff. This was our very first dome. This is where the journey began, and we sort of expanded out this way and built these 3 barrel domes. We have the Project Morpheus Wonder. This was a real pain in the ass because this was part of the Morpheus event, and as we know, the Morpheus event was a bit of a nightmare. There was a lot of jumping through hoops, etc. We built a ton of water and power over here, so I'm surprised that there's nothing being done here. We do have, see, it's got 98% average in range. Everything is pretty much green apart from like the walls and stuff. So we've basically turned Mars into a green planet. This rock face and stuff, there's nothing much we can do about that. I was kind of hoping that some stuff would grow over here, but it didn't. We then moved down to this area. This area was built hastily with schools and things in mind because we got a really large birth sort of booms, birth wave, and we had a ton of children with nowhere to put them, so we built this area and then these domes here to supply them with food and etc. So that kind of stemmed the issue. It wasn't enough though, so we then moved over here and built some more domes. We've got the mole hole over here, the other wonder. As you can see, bushes are growing here. These are set to plant trees as well, but there ain't none, so that is unfortunate. But yeah, if we go to this tile right here, yeah, see, there's a fully fledged forest going on just in this tile. I think if there's no buildings in a tile at all, not pipes, you're allowed pipes in a drone hub, but I think if there's no large buildings, it will grow a phenomenal amount of trees. But yeah, so this area turned out a-okay. We then moved down and we built this area right here in the middle because we had literally tons of population and sort of nowhere to put them. So these domes were pretty cool. Some of them have the hanging gardens, some of them have the arcology. Ooh, I should probably upgrade these. There's no point now, but it's done. Moving over this way, we've got the second the third wonder, which is the Omega telescope. So that was pretty cool. We then went out to this area and built over here. Again, nothing much is growing in the center here, but it has turned to, I think we should at least have grass. Yeah, you can see the grass there, so that's pretty cool. I did discover though that if there's no tunnel between domes, even when they're open and the oxygen is pure, yeah, don't care about the leak. We've got tons of power. I'm sure it's absolutely nothing. Give the colonists some more morale. Yeah, so if they don't have a tunnel, even though these people are all walking outside because it's a nice, beautiful, rainy day, they won't go across to another dome. And I found that out whilst building the capital dome. So this area is all good as well. It's getting some growth. It's started to get some trees, which is really nice. So I would imagine if I left it for a couple hours more, you maybe would start to see a bit more trees. We've got the final wonder here, the artificial sun. So that was all good. No, it's not the final wonder. This one was the excavator, which I was going to start to upgrade, but I've got so much concrete, there's literally no point. So I just left it. Plenty of lakes and stuff over here as well. I tried to squeeze in pretty much as much lakes as possible. So moving up to the top, this area is really nice. We've got some nice trees and stuff over here. I love these rocks that sort of jut out from the surface. They look really cool. We've got our open air farms. They look really nice as well. I'm really happy with the way they turned out. We've got our tourist dome was built over here. Now the tourists, I actually stopped the tourists. I got a bug where they were all going to this dome over here. So after I built this dome, and I selected no tourists to be in this dome, but 32 of them got stuck over here and they would not move anywhere else. I then took in 2 more rockets with tourists, and even though there was no tourists allowed in this dome, they all went over here. So I ended up with, I think it was like roughly about 128 or something people that were stuck over there, and they wouldn't leave. Eventually it just went away. I don't know, maybe they died off or something, but I stopped taking tourists in because every shuttle I brought down here, none of them would go in here, and they would all go over to the other dome, and there was no way to get them back. So I think that's a bug, which is kind of strange, considering the lifetime and the development cycle of this game. You would have thought bugs like that would have been ironed out by now, but maybe it was just me. Maybe I was doing something wrong. But I made sure that every single dome did not want tourists apart from this one. So that's kind of weird. We then built our terraforming area. Now this literally blitzed atmosphere and temperature in pretty much no time at all. I didn't really need to build these, but I still built them because I think they look kind of cool. Weirdly, again, there is a ton of forestation going on over here, so this sort of busts my theory that buildings can't be placed in here. But yeah, look, it works just totally fine. This area is only just recently started to grow bushes and stuff, and we're starting to get trees and stuff over here. So I do believe that this was the first one I ever built. So this is the first forestation plant, and now it's starting to get trees. So I do believe if you left it for a severe amount of time, a couple of hours, maybe even 3-4 hours, you would start to get trees everywhere. I don't know if that is the case. I mean, I only left it for an hour, and considering it took me about 4 hours to get this up to 100% because seed vegetation missions were so few and far between, waiting any longer was just not on the cards. Right, so this area looks pretty cool as well. Let's just get rid of that. What is showing up still? So I've got these boundaries. I don't know what these boundaries are for. I think this is like a bug. Huh. Yeah, right, get rid of that. Yeah, I don't know. This is the only area. No, these ones have it as well. So I don't know what these are. Or what they are, you know. Is it just like a population area? I think it's disabled buildings. Maybe. Possibly. It's all good. 8 wind turbines are not working. Why? There's tons of stuff over here, so we're just getting random breakdowns now. Over to the final dome, the good old Capitol dome. So this was really fun to build. It looked really nice. It's absolutely huge. It can house a ton of people. So there's 20 vacant residential slots, 49 vacant slots in there. We can add that as well because there was a lot of unemployed people in here. So that should be all good. We're not interested in going to asteroids. And then I built this one here as well. And this is the one I had the problem with the tourists, even though if we go to here, right, age group, specialization, no tourists. And this actually said that there were 0 tourists in the dome, but there was about 120, 130 odd people in there. And they were just sort of stuck there. I could not get them to leave. Even by placing rockets down here, because it's just a shorter journey, they still would not go in. So the last bit to terraform was this area over here. Now I built this kind of like the lake district. Unfortunately, we did not get the lakes fill up on their own, which would have been absolutely brilliant. It would have saved us having a mess of pipes, because we've got pipes absolutely everywhere. In order to maintain the pipes as well, I had to build drone hubs absolutely everywhere as well. So that kinda sucked. What's going on down here? See, I should have put a forestation plant in there, but it's okay. So yeah, there you have it. So Mars is now a green planet. I think again, if I'd left this for a few more hours, it probably would have spawned trees and stuff. They've all got, you know, plant types, grass, trees. I've mixed it up and it's starting to grow trees over here at the far corner, but I think that's because there's literally nothing here. But yeah, it looks really good. So quickly, we'll head underground as well. Underground turned out to be a bit of a disaster. I was really looking forward to this DLC. I thought it'd be kind of cool. But there's not really much to do underground. So your 3 wonders. One is the alien tech, which allows you to control all drones that are in the underground vicinity. As you can see, I've got 32 buildings are broken because there's a lot of cave-ins keep happening, and you need exotic materials to build the struts, these support struts, which are pretty cool, but it means you need to constantly mine asteroids, and that was fun for the first couple of times. It then became kind of micromanagey. Also, I was going to build a dome down here, but again, you need to send food down, and the first attempts I actually did try and send stuff down here via the elevators didn't actually work. So back to the wonders. I searched the entire labyrinth of the underground of Mars, and I never found the alien tech wonder. And apparently you're supposed to get all 3. I did, however, get the bottomless pit. So that is here, and yeah, it's kind of broken at the moment. So yeah, you need exotic materials, yeah, to keep this going as well. And I just could not be bothered. But it would have taken workers. There's lots of stuff down here. The domes themselves use exotic materials, and this as well is probably in mass disrepair. Yep. This reinforced. So this is the jumbo cave where you can build a large dome. And this basically is classed as being entirely supported by this. But yeah, I just wasn't really interested in the micromanagement of continuously moving stuff down here. Not when you've got like a lot of stuff happening on the surface as well. So that was kind of weird. The underground stuff was kind of a bust. The going to mine asteroids became a bit tedious. The terraforming. So I think the way that Paradox Interactive sort of made this is that you would start maybe terraforming from the beginning, but most people I know just start terraforming right at the end, and once you've got an established colony with tons of electronics, machine parts, polymers, all the goods, etc., you can blitz this out fairly quick, especially the atmosphere, the atmo and the temperature. The water takes a little bit longer, but the seed vegetation, because once you get to, I think it's like 60%, these forestation plants no longer do anything. They stop increasing the soil quality or growth of vegetation on Mars, and you need to complete it by doing seed vegetation projects. And as I said, it took about 3-4 hours for me to get from somewhere like 65% to 100, which was a long time. So that was kind of tedious as well. But yeah, you can fairly build out a lot of stuff. This is a well-established colony. I don't even know how many colonists are actually in here. Graphs. So general, power, grids, buildings, advanced colonists. 3,962. So almost 4,000 people on the colony at the moment. So yeah, it was kind of cool. I really do like the, the turning Mars green, the Green Planet DLC. That is really cool. There's also other ones as well, like Project Leica, where you get animals and stuff sort of roaming around. There doesn't seem to be any animals in here, which is odd because there's normally heaps. There's normally tons. We've got farm animals, but they are there. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm so glad that I got to finish this. I did start a Surviving Mars playthrough way back, pretty much when I started the channel, and I sort of screwed myself over. I built myself into a corner and I was stuck in like a never-ending rut, and it was just taking so long because the mission parameters I had taken were like a sort of difficult level. I worked myself into a corner that I couldn't get out of, and it was just an endless slog of really slow, unentertaining gameplay. So I ditched it. But I'm glad to get back onto this and actually finish it, actually complete it, because it's a great game. It's really well made. Even at 4K, I'm still getting 100 frames per second. It is starting to get a bit laggy here and there, especially when at 3 times speed. But apart from that, it's great. It's very well optimized. It's a really good game. There are other Mars and Moon colony builders coming up on the horizon that I have seen anyway. I don't know when they're going to be released, but if they're half as good as this, they should be good. So yeah, that is it. That is the colony. So I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, and I'm glad that I was able to see this through. It was a long time. I think there was like 50 or something episodes, maybe less, maybe 40. But yeah, I'm glad that it's done, and I'm glad that I was able to wrap this up before the end of the year. So we'll wrap up another game, City States 2, Jurassic World Evolution 2, and then we'll introduce a new game at the start of the year. So yeah, for those of you who enjoyed this, I'm glad that I could provide this series for you, and I'm just so happy. I'm happy that it's done. Not that I was bored of playing it or anything, that I managed to complete everything and get everything working as I sort of wanted. It turned out really good. So that is going to be it for me, and that is going to be it for Surviving Mars. As always, if you did watch this and you would like to leave a like, comment or dislike, please feel free to do so. And if there is more you would like to see in the future, then hit a subscribe button. I've been Danny Min, this has been Surviving Mars, and I will catch you later.